Welcome back to Sunrise Spotlight. I'm Terissa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce, and we do this event every single month to highlight things going on or happening in the city of Fort Pierce. We're even back in the studio and we're plugging right away at it. We have a special guest with us today, and we're going to learn more about what he does for the city of Fort Pierce. Please welcome Kevin. Kevin is the HR manager, and we talked about your name before, and I practiced it, and then I jinxed myself because now I want to say Kevin Browning. Am I correct?
You are correct.
Yay! I see, but then you overthink it and you think, is that right? It's not right. It's not right. I'm not going to say it. But yes, Kevin Browning, welcome. This is the first time we've met. It's nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Yes. Well, of course, as you mentioned, I'm from the beautiful city of Fort Pierce, and where we have about 340 employees, and I think about 10 part-time. So it's a very nice place to work, kind of family-friendly atmosphere.
It is.
With, a lot of things going on in the city of Fort Pierce. And I think we have quite a bit to offer at the city of Fort Pierce, which is why I'm here with you.
Yeah, we don't talk about how the inner workings are, and it is a company, so to speak, even though it's a government. You have an HR department, you have several different departments.
Yes.
And everybody has benefits and they have leave, and and you're the guy that has to make sure all that's running smoothly.
Yes, all that's running smoothly.
And let's talk about the departments. What do you handle? Because I think some people would be surprised to know that the city of Fort Pierce has their own waste program. Of course, in the county and in the city of Port St. Lucie, they have subcontracted that out. But you guys employ your own workers, right?
Yes, we do. We have our own sanitation drivers, our own sanitation department, and of course we have the black can and the green can, and and then. People want us to pick up the debris on the side and just scope of everything in our public works department.
Public works handles that. And you guys do your own debris pickup, yes?
That's correct.
Wow.
Yes, we do. So it's very busy. A lot of dedicated employees, and sometimes those are, sometimes harder to fill areas because, they have to be CDL drivers, and it's not an easy job.
No.
Driving that very big truck and just going all day, and it's we have good employees.
You do. But yeah, it is a big truck in some smaller streets. The Fort Pierce area is one of our oldest areas in the whole state.
Yes.
And so some of those roads are kind of tight. And CDL license is a commercial driver's license, so you actually have to go get that. It's
correct.
Requires schooling.
Yes.
So yeah, I can imagine that is hard. You have openings right now, probably?
We just filled the last 2 openings for sanitation drivers, but attrition happens.
Yeah.
And we have, of course, in the city about 46,000 residents, so it's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest.
And you have a Parks and Rec department as well.
We do.
And do they handle because some of the beaches are city run and some are county?
Correct.
So what do you guys have to look over there?
Maintain the restroom facilities, maintain the look of the park, the shrubbery, just everything that goes along with maintaining the park, the playgrounds, and it's a whole lot. Playground certification, all kinds of things to run, the Parks and Recreation area also.
And when you're filling position, do you have a weighted system? I know that a lot of times our veterans get a weight through local government. Is that the case with the city of Fort Pierce?
We don't get a lot of response from veterans claiming veterans preference. A lot of times, I guess most people just come in as a regular applicant, and that's just the way it is. But we do accept, of course, you have to veterans preference, and we do give our veterans the preference that they deserve. Thank them for serving the country. But it hasn't been a lot, mainly with our police department, because we do have our own Fort Pierce Police Department.
Yep.
So, a lot of veterans come from the military to join the police department.
Okay. And do you onboard for the police department too, or do they have their own HR, or is that?
The applications initially come through my department, and then they have their own recruiter, Officer Avila, who recruits for the police department. And then he takes that long process, because the background checking, the psych, it's a whole series of things to make sure that
to be a police officer.
is completely vetted.
Yeah.
So it'll take a few months to get those in. And then, with COVID right now, with the college kind of changing things because they have the academy.
Yeah.
So things, COVID affects everybody, and it's affecting more than what people would actually think about.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, is it trickles down. Everything's a trickle-down effect. And if it didn't affect you in March, it's going to affect you by May. So
Yes, it
don't you
does.
worry about it. It will get to you, too.
Oh,
But
yes.
IRSC, Indian River State College, has a public safety academy out there. And actually, it's used all over the state, especially throughout the Treasure Coast. Indian River, everybody kind of trains out there. And you all seem to try to get your officers from out there as well.
Yes.
But with them, the shutdown, and now I don't know how they're doing it.
I think they're opening back up kind of partially, and then it's sometimes we end up trading. Some person leaves one agency for another agency.
Yeah,
and Fort Pierce has a lot of
Sometimes
good experience.
they follow the money. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Follow the money. I think all of us have officers that might look at a $15,000 increase maybe in Palm Beach or something like
Yeah.
that. But what are you losing here? Because Fort Pierce has great retirement and competitive salary.
You do have a great retirement.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
people should know that. If you're looking to apply for something, you have a great retirement.
Yes. I used to be in FRS. Now with the city of Fort Pierce has its own retirement.
Yes.
So it's, it's a little
So
bit
it's still
more
a
lucrative.
pension plan.
It's still a pension plan. Yes, it is.
That's important to note. For all you, see, we were talking about this stuff earlier. People were
Yes.
like, what are they talking about? We know it's a good plan.
Definitely.
Yeah. So very interesting. And talking about COVID, how has that made it harder for you in HR? I worry about HR professionals all over the land with this COVID thing running around, because we don't know
Right.
how businesses are going to fare through that, and what is their liability, and what steps do they have to take.
Exactly.
How
yes.
how is that going for you?
Well, we are kind of, you don't want to recreate the wheel, so we listen to each other and follow the CDC guidelines and the health department guidelines. And, we're all doing temperature checking to make sure employees are safe and healthy when they come in the building. And then when somebody has symptoms, which it's undoubtedly going to happen at some point, because you live with a family, you have friends, you go out to the grocery store, and you have everything else. So at some point, somebody's going to be in some way touched by it, even if it's caring for a child or something else, which all falls up under the FFCRA, the Coronavirus Care Act.
Yeah, the Federal CARES Act. Yeah.
Yes. So it's, every now and then I'll get a call that somebody's daughter or something was exposed, and they feel they might have to take a test or something like that. And of course, we want that to happen. We want the employees to be safe and to be healthy, and their families to be healthy. So we just provide as much support as possible. And of course, the federal government gives the 80 hours coronavirus leave, and we're doing as much as possible to make sure everyone is safe. So we just fall right in.
And I think that's all you can do is best practices. I mean, there's no way to 100% shield any organization or family from this, but you could just do what you can to try to protect your employees. You brought up the Federal CARES Act, and I don't think everybody understands that the Federal CARES Act gives employees 80 hours
Yes.
of COVID pay, which is intended to cover you in case you are out sick with COVID,
Right.
or even awaiting test results, right?
Awaiting test results. Yes. Taking care of a family member. It also has a portion if school is closed, when school was closed, and maybe you don't have daycare, so you can get 2/3 of your pay if you had to stay at home taking care of a child. So I think it was, up to a point, very well thought out plan, and it does help the families, because as you know, with so many people having just different issues going on, there's everything that that families need to help in taking care of their family and trying to maintain.
It's funny that you brought up the 80 hours and how it helps a family, but it also helps employers, because we have me being the Chamber of Commerce, we have a lot of small businesses where they're owner operated, unlike a government entity. And so the federal government reimbursing them for these COVID pays so that they can allow their employees is huge for them.
Oh yeah.
And huge for their employee morale, which allows them to stay employed because they're not using their vacation and their PTO. go. But small businesses can't afford 160 hours,
Definitely.
of no work time for every single employee they have. So the CARES Act, I think, was somewhat well thought out. I'll say somewhat because, there's always detractors on both sides.
Exactly.
I don't want to tick anybody off.
Yes, but we are appreciative of it.
Yes, we are very appreciative of it. And we hope to see another one ironed out.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Very soon. That would be helpful. But we do have, people should know that the federal unemployment, President Trump enacted a $400 additional stipend.
Right.
For federal government. People should be aware of that too.
Yes, because the 600 wasn't extended as I understand it, and he did enact the 400 right away, which would help a whole lot of people. And it's we're just thankful that those thoughts are out there and that the two sides are working together for something. Don't get agreement on everything, but we do get something, and it helps the municipalities.
It does. Well, the city of Fort Pierce, I think, has long been thought of as a great place to work, and I certainly have always heard that, and I have many friends that work there.
Yes.
And very happy to do so. Now, what's your background? Have you been the manager for a very long time, or?
Going on about 5 years now. Okay. I was the HR executive director for the Indian River County School District for a few years, as well as a principal. So that's how I know about the FRS.
Okay.
So yes, going from FRS over to this retirement, it's great to have a nice retirement, which is what we offer our employees, as well as the full scope of benefits: Blue Cross Blue Shield. You've got health, life, dental. Some of the other benefits, tuition reimbursement. Oh. So if you're in the field of, let's say, engineering, and you wanted to go back to school, we reimburse the tuition, assuming that you make a grade of C or higher. Okay. And also certification. We have a new certification program. So if you wanted to get certified in, whatever it might be, as long as it's in your field, we pay for it. And you get an extra 5% up to 10%. So you could have 2 certifications, or a bachelor's or master's degree. So those are the benefits that some people don't know, and that when I came from the school district didn't have. If you went back to school, you went back on your own. Now, if you were a teacher that had a master's degree, you got, I think, a $3,900 increase in pay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not much.
No, not much.
Yeah.
So the 5% or 10% does help the employees in the city of Fort Pierce. And so we're just grateful to have that. And it encourages a more educated workforce.
It used to be, when I started working, that many companies reimbursed education, but those are very far and few between now. Very far and few between. So if you are working for the city of Fort Pierce, I urge you, I know I would, really want to further my education and be reimbursed for it. That is very hard to find.
Yes.
That brings us back to the waste management system. If they come on as just a worker, can they go through schooling to get their CDL and maybe have that reimbursed?
They have to have the CDL to get there, but there are other certifications that they can get, like a SWANA, waste management certification, and other certifications, yes. But the CDL, to start driving those big trucks, they really have to have it.
Because your trucks are automated.
Yes.
Okay, so they don't have the workers on the back.
No, not anymore.
That's why. Okay, yeah, they're automated, and they just, I forgot about that.
Front loaders and side loaders.
Yeah. So they don't have actual workers hanging off the back to pick up the garbage and put that in.
No, it was sad when I saw that everybody got rid of that, but it's a technology improvement that cuts out a human somewhere.
I know.
But it's supposed to be an improvement, so we just have to change and re-educate ourselves.
Environmentally improved and all that kind of. There's a lot of arguments for that, but we digress.
Yes.
We digress. Does HR still? Are you still sort of the mediator of the office place as well, or not so much anymore?
We have 3 unions. Yes.
Then so you're still the mediator.
Yes, we are. Non-bargaining, and then a general bargaining unit, and then 2 police unions. So it's always movement, always active.
Tell everybody the difference between non-bargaining and bargaining.
Well, non-bargaining is like me. I don't have anybody to negotiate my salary or my raise. The commission just appropriates what raise is coming. And then with the bargaining, if something happens, like with, I don't know, with an officer or with a regular employee, they have a representative to sit in for them. If I have to question somebody, I invite the representative to sit in just to make sure that witness and make sure that their rights are followed. You know, they have the
you
wine
can't just
guard
pull
rights.
somebody in and, you know,
yes,
you got to get with their rep.
yes, unions have a, you know, I like the unions. They have it makes everything fair. You know, sometimes, you know, you have areas or places where things are, you know, sometimes the union sticks up for the bad guy, but for the most part, they are very supportive and they look out for what's fair and for a fair wage for employees. And I think that is very much important.
It's all very interesting. I think people don't talk about the HR so much anymore. It's sort of like taboo, you know.
Yes.
If HR is brought up, it's like, why?
Yeah, you love it when you come in the door.
Yeah, when you're onboarding and they tell you what great benefits you're going to get, but then after that, you don't want to hear from them ever again.
Until retirement.
Yes. So we'll knock that misnomer down. There's a lot of things to get in touch with your HR department. I know that HR departments always have, they're kind of the conduit of information if there's a company picnic or, you know, things like that are going on as well.
Yes.
There are some nice, great things coming out of HR and everybody's benefits. Where should somebody go if they're looking for employment with the City of Fort Pierce?
cityoffortpierce.com, all spelled out, www.cityoffortpierce.com.
Yeah, you got to put the of in there, City of.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what people forget. And then you have a little button that says jobs, right? Or careers?
That's correct,
Yep.
yes.
Very good.
And everything that's available is listed right there.
Good. All right. Well, thank you for being with us today. I appreciate it very much. It was really nice to meet you.
Nice
honestly.
meeting you too.
In the past 5 years, we haven't run into each other. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I've been kind of low key until they say, okay, you got to go talk.
All right, well,
and that's
nice.
fine.
It's nice to get out, though, right?
It is.
All right. It was nice having you, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to Joe for bringing you in today. Mr. Mims, he co-hosted this with me for so long, but in the middle of this crisis, he really is putting his attention towards that. But hopefully he will be back with us. I'm going to say someday, because this too will pass and it will be over someday. Thank you for joining us at home. Don't forget you can watch us on local TV. You can watch us on our YouTube channel or at SLC TV. That's through the stlucieco.gov website. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.